So thank you, everyone. Speaking favor over everyone's life, healing, much health. My wife is suffering from a virus, and so just speaking peace to everyone and nothing missing, nothing broken. So welcome. Thank you, all the moderators. Thank you for all the other Soul Tribe members. Miss Trina, much love. How are you doing? Good to see you.
Much love, Wayne and Soul Tribe, and what a wonderful world we're living in.
Yeah,
Interesting times.
it's interesting.
Yeah.
I saw a shooting star.
Ooh, right on.
Mm. You know what was unusual about this one?
What?
It made a hook in the sky.
Oh,
What the freak was that?
yeah, that's, I was going to say, wow, Wayne. I've never
Yeah,
seen a shooting star do a hook, so that would
yeah.
lead me to believe that potentially that wasn't a falling star.
About 4:04 in the morning. Went,
Of
I mean, it had all the
course.
characteristics of a meteor, but it made a hook. And I went, and I,
That's very interesting.
as I said to Dancer, she was, doing her business. I said, now that's most unusual. Don't see this every night. So
Right?
anyway, so how are you?
Wow. I'm good.
Good to
Really
see you.
good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
good to see you. Um, everyone is saying hello.
Hi,
Peter
everyone.
Meter says
So
it was a
much
hooker.
love to
Yeah.
you.
Everyone, hello. Good to see you. Just so glad to
Yes.
have everyone
Oh,
here. Um,
family.
so how's your New Year going?
It's going good. It's interesting because, there's this energy is so powerful in you can feel that there's big transition getting ready to come.
Mm-hmm.
You feel it. And it's going to be the outcome is going to be how we can hold this energy, you know, how
Mm-hmm.
we can how we can not react to it, but actually get intuitive about it. So we're going to have to become very intuitive very quickly because it's going to keep you safe. So we've got to turn on these divine feminine qualities. And I think it's mandatory at this time.
I'd agree with you. I think that there's a lot of things happening, and I was not totally convinced, that this moving into this new age, you know, it's hard to define something when none of us have ever been there.
Right.
I mean, I'm just being honest.
Yeah, this is a 26,000 year transition.
Yeah,
This
I
is a
mean,
big deal.
I haven't
Yeah.
met anyone that maybe someone at 24,450 years, but I haven't met anyone at 26,000. But no,
Well, especially too, because this is an elemental change. This is going
yeah,
from earth into air. That is powerful.
yes,
We're
yes.
going into air.
And would I be an heir, not to make a pun, but um, that the air is supremacy to fire, to earth, to water.
Air
It,
represents higher thought.
yeah, that's
You've
what
got to,
it represents ascendancy to me.
yes, yes,
Earth
yes, yes,
reminds me of 3D being held down to matter.
correct.
Fire is the cleansing that I
Yes,
see. The water is the baptism, and then the
yes.
air is the ascendancy. That's how I see it.
Yeah, and that's exactly like you can see that map in your body.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you got the earth is the root, and then above that you've got the waters, which is the stomach, the digestion. Then above that, then you've got the air. I mean, you've got the
The
It's just
heart,
like you
which
said.
be the
I got screwed
fire.
up in my head,
Yeah.
but yeah, you go to the top, and that's your head. That's
That's the
the air.
air.
It's
Yeah.
earth, air, fire, water.
Yeah.
It's all we're going into air from being into earth. That means a switch of polarity within the information centers in our body. So the primary signal that comes in from the cosmos depends on where we're in the cosmos. So we were in earth element, and now we're moving into the air element, which is going to be a total higher mind activation. They say it's very humanitarian. So this is about the service to others. This is the whole Bosto frequency coming online because it's going to be coming in through air. It's no
Hmm.
longer going to be coming in through your root, your gut, your survival, your materialism. you're going to be having higher mind consciousness just naturally because of the new light, which light is information, and that new coding is going to be coming in through the crown. Isn't that ironic?
Isn't it interesting?
Yeah.
Next Wednesday, I'm going to have Jennifer Roberts on. We're going to be talking about the divine goddess. And it's interesting, Trina, because we've been doing this show for almost, I guess, over almost a year. I know it's coming up close on that, something close to that, but
Yeah. I think it's over.
I think it is over.
Yeah, it is over. Yeah.
Away over yonder, that's where I'm bound. Anyway, come on, all donations well accepted. Thank you. Hey, Cass.
Hi, Cass.
But anyway, when so I've experienced, and it's very odd because it happened initially on the 4th, and today is the 5th, and experienced it again this morning. I don't know. I'm communicating to something. I can't hear it, but I can feel it. I can feel it's feminine. I can feel her thoughts. And it's interesting because these are, I wanted to first account for it as, a lucid dream. I don't think that's happening. I think I'm very much aware and awake about what's going on. So anyway.
Yeah, I think once you start doing these practices, you literally can bounce between the realities seamlessly. You can have a consciousness of that while you're in these slowed down, states of mind. You can just connect. But you're not, like you said, you're not really dreaming. You're fully aware of what's taking place. Yeah, it's a different level. Yeah.
Well, so that started this. I did not plan to go down this road. I really did not. I had something completely different that I was going, but nevertheless, here we are. And it's interesting because this begins to peel the onion back. And hear me out, Trina. I don't think this is about communicating to other realms or dimension. We're in this realm.
Yeah.
And there's a cap on it. And it goes beyond what we can think and comprehend, but even that has a cap on it. Okay. So as I see this realm is completely and has been completely devoid of the feminine, and it appears that this is something very recent. Seems that what I am finding is that we're talking something that actually took place about 8,000 years ago. And in 6,000 years ago, it began in earnest to remove the goddess. Everything
Absolutely.
today, look at your Bibles, your Quran, look at the Talmud, look at all of them.
Yeah.
All written by males.
Absolutely.
So she came to me, and I mean, it's very interesting. You have to approach her. I mean, I'm just asking these thoughts and so we can accept that we live in duality, right? Would you not say that that is a common denominator against what we would call an awoke community?
It's just scientific, even. We are in a reality based on polarity. It's just, it's
duality.
in everything. Yes.
Yeah, it's everything.
It's in everything. Positive, negative, positive, negative. That's it. Are you positively polarized or are you negatively polarized? Even if you're going into your memories, you're receiving, that's negatively polarized. If you're projecting and creating, you're positively polarized. Everything is about positive, negative charge here.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we can agree on that. So let's take religion, let's take theology, let's take ideology, even politics. As I began to really look into this, all written by males.
Yep.
Everything I have found on anything to do with the feminine has been written by the masculine.
Yeah.
So this is what I heard. What if the creation story is actually reversed? what if, in fact, Eve was here as a goddess? She is the princess as a goddess. She's a direct heir.
Mhm.
Some could say to Lilith. Some could say to Hathor, who is behind me. It just depends. But that it was her that gave birth to this bastard called Adam. And
Totally.
the bastard son was so sick, he actually had sex with his mother, Eve,
Uh-huh.
that brought forth the bastard child that we now call the story of Cain and Abel.
Yeah.
Okay. The,
Yeah.
the serpent has always been represented by the male.
Yes.
Yes, in all legends. But when you start moving outside of more of the what I would call the Mesopotamian influence, the serpent takes on a whole different personification as the feminine, the
Yes.
healer,
Yes.
the
This is
mother.
the medicine part of it. This is the Orphic egg part of it. This is all sacred feminine symbology. But a lot of it's been twisted, like you said,
So
projected as male when it was truly female. It's a conundrum.
it is a conundrum
Yeah.
because it begins to make you wonder then
Mhm.
they removed her. They removed her
Absolutely.
name.
And I think they had to, Wayne, because you can't control a mind unless you keep it out of balance and divided. Because once that mind is married with the power of the divine feminine and the masculine that is within you, then you activate the Christ. That's what activates that. It's understanding the feminine and the masculine within you and operating as both.
So
It's like,
yesterday,
the original way we were supposed to operate in a whole mind, not
yeah,
an out of balance mind.
well, the thought goes further when you take the fact that Christ, the
Mhm.
message, if it was taken from the feminine perspective, would make sense because what she was doing was rescuing us from what we call the rogue male.
Yeah. And I
This
think that was like
male,
the whole Holy Spirit thing is the hidden
exactly, this
feminine.
male broke off
Yeah.
from the feminine, from the goddess.
Yeah.
And what we have seen as the result of his reign has been total chaos. It's been
You can
total
look at
murder
this,
for mankind.
the Sophia legend, kind of
Hmm.
speaks of the same, that Sophia, her shadow was left and they defiled and raped and impregnated her shadow. So, it's all about the fall of the female and the female being the progenitor of the Yaldabaoth, the feathered serpent god. So, and
Hmm.
that's why women were,
Which is
hated
male.
because, yeah, it's the same thing about hating the female,
Yeah.
it's in that the serpent being the feathered god. It's so crazy. So the female, but when they breathed the spirit back into Adam, Yaldabaoth breathed his essence back into, that was when the divine feminine tricked Yaldabaoth and gave the divine spark back to man somehow. So, like, that could be the redemption of the divine feminine in mankind. But which Adam are we talking about?
And which
It's so
and we speak of
crazy.
Yaldabaoth, but Yahweh, whatever you want to say. I mean, and the reference
Right,
of that is Genesis 2:9. And
right.
that was the difference between what I call the first version, the 6 day people in Genesis 1:26. They are not us.
Yes.
They got taken away. And then this and I contend what we had is when the moon came in, we had this devastation on earth. Something burned the earth up because we get notice of that in Genesis 2:4. And it says that there was nothing but ash on the earth. Well, that couldn't be Genesis 1:26 that just went through the whole creation. So something
Right,
happened. Then the next thing
right,
we know, the moon was here. Then we now have the story of the Lord God
right.
creating Adam in their image. But we
Yes.
don't know which Adam now because this Adam had something blown into him.
Yes.
Something was added that was not added to the Genesis 1:26 people. They're
And they
gone.
said it was from the actual God of this whole thing, which was
Yeah.
the old Baal thing, that it was supposed to breathe into the nostrils of Adam and it would rise. And they didn't know, but that was him giving his power away and putting it
And the
into
thing gets
us.
weirder. The
Yeah.
female never had the breath blown into her.
No. Mm-mm.
So here we have right from the get-go, something that's, I'll guarantee you this has gone over most people's head. They haven't thought about this. But if you go back, and I studied, I mean, I'm like, with Jeff Doherty, I mean, you get your 50 years when you get your head into this, you know it.
I know.
You know it by heart. And now I do the analysis and I'm going, oh, wait a minute.
What?
Yeah, exactly. Wait a minute.
Wait a minute. Yeah. What? Yeah.
I mean, yeah, we studied Lilith, and her story is making more and more sense as we really begin to wake up to this, what happened. So, Trina, I have, as you know, wanted to pull up so everyone can have some gnosis. These are all PDFs I have. This one is called Women, Cows, and Goddesses. So this is from the hieroglyphs right here. This is Mertuat, different spellings, but what it is, this is her right here. She is the mother of the god Ra. Now, according to the translation, and we're going to be looking at Faulkner's translation and how he translated the hieroglyphs. And what he says that this is saying is that I saw Ra being born yesterday from the buttocks of the celestial cow. Now, what this is really talking about is seeing the sunrise each morning.
Yeah.
But there's also, we know that there's a mystical aspect because the Egyptians were mastered wizards.
Yeah.
I believe the high priestess were, in fact, I think they were divine handmaidens of the goddess Hathor.
Yeah.
So it,
It's, in Egypt, it's the only place where you see pyramids, and some of them are to the female goddess, and then other ones are like to the male.
yeah, and it's very clear in, at least their nomenclature, how they look at the woman. And in this case, the goddess Ra, Hathor, she is the one who gives birth to Ra.
Correct.
Now, there's a lot of people here who have read, and I have the book, the channeled message from Ra, and what it was said. And this is very interesting because the eye of Ra, I didn't never know that. Do you know what this actually means? It's the sacred eye. And what it means is actually sound and, more importantly, uninjured eye. So, yeah, I know it's very interesting. And that's how I went, And so,
Yeah. I'm like,
yeah. And
I wonder
here
what. Yeah.
is, in fact, look at this. So this is Matura, cow goddess. And look at who's there. It's the serpent with the cow, with the staff, the raven, balanced, the pin.
That's what I'm telling you. There's all the symbology to me. It's like the serpent in the garden and Eve mingled with the serpent. I think that was like the redemption, was that breath of life could be something with the serpent, because it was the magical part that reconnected our spine again. We had more of our sensories. We were brought, because remember they said Adam was put to sleep. I think that was some kind of a dumbing down, and then somehow we got that put back somehow.
Yeah, it actually says that Yahweh, the Lord God, caused a sleep to fall over Adam.
Yeah.
Indicates that Adam probably never slept, didn't need to. A whole
Yeah.
different thing. But anyway, by the way, folks, I will be referring this into future programs. This is so cool.
It's powerful.
Talks about the flood, talks about the pre-Adamic and the post-Adamic cultures world, something happened here, and it's
Yes.
in the mystery. This is the
Yes.
one I want everyone to begin to focus in on, folks. Oh, Trina, when I started getting into this last night, it was hard for me to go to sleep. And then when I found that, because I'm taking care of Lynn, and my sleep this morning was just interrupted with, whoever. So this is in Anna and what we
Mhm.
call the Hulupua tree. And I love this document because it talks about the one way they had to demonize the great supreme creator, the true creator, the true goddess. No male is capable of creating anything. The
Wow, look at
male,
that. The sacred
yes,
marriage.
yes,
That's what I'm
yes,
telling
thank
you.
you.
Once you're both parts of your brain are operating, that's what it says. That she was like standing among the Sumerian deities, even as society increased in male
Male
dominance, because
dominance.
she couldn't be suppressed. Her power was stronger
Yes,
because she had that divine marriage. I'm telling you guys, this is a huge key. This is what they do not want you to see.
this is what was removed.
It had to be because you can't control that unified mind.
I got all
It
these Bible
knows
thumpers,
truth,
coming
feels
in
it,
here.
sees it, smells it. You
Yeah,
can't hide it because you're activating all those powers
yeah.
that you don't when you're operating with one versus two.
Yaldabaoth, Yahweh, Jesus Christ. By the way, folks, I'm going to introduce you to the true mother. If you believe Jesus Christ actually existed, I'm about to show you who his mama is. And it ain't no Mary. I'll guarantee you that. But
Mhm.
let's get back to this point. This is, again, as it was shown to me in my sleep, or I don't know what the heck it was, but this thing called the Elohim. They're
Mhm.
they're 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 a consciousness,
Yeah.
and they they are part of this male rogueness
Yes.
that came from the supreme goddess, and the male basically ran away, and this is its creation. And the goddess, she has been doing, and I think it's about to get ramped up, all that she can to come in here and reverse and undo what this Yahweh, the Aldabaoth, has actually done.
Yeah.
That's why the Christ is feminine. What is this? Good. Um, because they it started in earnest about 6,000 years ago, Trina. They had to remove the supreme goddess.
Oh yeah, they got rid of it.
They
Woo-hoo.
did.
Boy.
I mean, they cleansed it.
Oh yeah. Like I said, and I think that's why a lot of the Templars were killed. I think that's why a lot of the Essenes and all that, and the Cathars. There's a lot of people that were talking about this alchemical wedding that would happen when you were in balance with the divine and masculine properties of God, goddess. That you would become a new creature. I'm telling you, I think this activates the
It
human
activates
super
something.
powers.
It does.
Yeah.
So we're going to get back to this because I love the name of this hula poopa tree. I love that. The hula pua. But this is the tree of life.
Yeah.
This is where they stole the story, basically, try to redo it. And, of course, today, that's what's impregnated into everyone's soul when you're born into this realm. It's the Abrahamic male patriarchal virus, is what I call it.
Hmm.
All right. So let's talk about God then of the Bible.
Hmm.
So this is his wife. Now,
Hmm.
there's something about Yahweh, the Lord God of what I used to know as Jehovah Jireh, Jehovah Rapha. I can go in and name his names. Um, he's got a problem. he's got a problem with the feminine. Totally cannot handle the presence of a strong woman. Now, this is then, if you take the Bible story literally, and now, like I said, these Bible thumpers come in, they think they're really going to do something here. What I do is that I said, well, why are you here to begin with? Well, you're here to learn something. So this is Asherah. This is Jesus's mother, because this is Yahweh's wife. So what's happened here? It's not that, it's about 6,000 years ago.
It's like I said, there's two. There's a mother and a father, and they're everything comes from the female. Everything in this reality is birthed from the female. So the female that these were birthed from is the cosmic womb of stars above our head, which there's another reference to that is Ma'at. So yeah, there's this goddess thing is, they say it's the beginning of all, because nothing can be birthed unless
nothing
it's
can be
birthed
birthed.
through the
Thank
female.
you. So don't give me this story about Adam. Don't give me
Right.
this crap about Adam, Adahu. I don't want to hear about the race or any of this thing. Let's just all admit that it's probably bullshit.
Well, it had to be birthed through some type of a female. And God
Exactly.
knows it could have been birthed through a cow.
Well, we don't know.
I
but it's
wonder
certain...
that sometimes, Wade, because cows, I wonder if they brought this seed down and impregnated a cow. And that's how
it's
Adam
odd that
was
you
made.
say
I'm
that.
like, I wonder.
I was just watching a documentary on the latest updated information they have on these cow mutilations.
That's what I'm telling you. There's
And
so much with
something is
cow.
going on here.
There's something going on. And
Something
maybe
right.
this is how they use a womb, an artificial womb to create a human in, or some kind of a hybrid human in. There's something got to be to this, Wayne.
Well, and this is the strange thing is that, if you go back, these were the early Israelites. Now, the way that they have perverted and twisted it in what you read in the Old Testament, and trust me, I know vividly what the Old Testament, First, Second Kings, First, Second Samuel, I know what these tribes did. And it's not what most people think today when they go to Jerusalem and they just fall, oh, look at this is where Jesus walked. No, but if he did walk, then Asheroth is his mother. So why did Yahweh banish Jesus's mother? Her name, her image, her very thought. And that's what this presence told me this morning. She said, they banished my thought. Yeah. My children can't think of me until they have my thought in them. Yeah. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, literally. And I just saw the Egyptian Trinity of thought, the God thought that controls thought. And it's like like I said, when you banish the goddess, you don't have thought. You don't think properly. You don't. That's wow.
So what they did, in essence, everyone who's listening, is that what they've did here is that they sanitized the story. They took Yahweh out of the muck and they put him up over on this pedestal. And what they did is that they then separated his brother Baal and they made him the bad guy. They made him Loki. And what they did, Yahweh did to his wife, is that he made her to be a whore. And that's where we get the whore of Babylon, the whore, the great whore. It came from Yahweh. This is what he called his wife and he banished her. And that's the trail I'm on. And I'm finding scholars. I wrote to a couple of them this morning, and I'm on the right track.
Yeah. I'm like, wow, Wayne.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And the way
they
that
turned her into a whore.
Yes, that's what they did.
That makes so much sense. Oh my God.
And this is why, if you study ancient Israelite history, the Canaanites, the Mesopotamian, in the temples. That's why you have temple whores, temple prostitutes.
Wow.
It represents the goddess. This is where she has been entrapped. And they knew, the male knew, that eventually it would be so degraded that her children would never even think of her.
Yeah, with the guilt and
Oh,
the
yeah,
suppression
yeah.
of the power and being brought into utter servitude and to be used as a prostitute and to have no control over your own body or pregnancies, giving birth, what happens to the children of that pregnancy. Man, that had to be some rough stuff.
It's interesting because if you look at Solomon, who it is said that the goddess cursed him because
Yeah.
Solomon was given the wisdom of Yahweh.
Uh-huh.
And what she did was curse Solomon with a hunger for the sexuality of her essence that Yahweh could never capture, never control, and it was let loose without boundaries within Solomon. And we saw how far it can go down.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, this gets really interesting. And to think that now then that there is more here. Um, Again, here is Asherah, the supreme goddess of the ancient Levant. There she is. And it goes further, folks. This is El. As soon as El saw her, he opened his mouth and laughed. He raised his voice and shouted, "Why was Lady Ashroth of the sea arrived? Why has the mother of the gods come?"
Wow. See the waters, the great
See, yeah,
waters, the holy sea, the waters, the holy sea. Oh my God, the
you
divine
getting it
feminine,
now?
the holy sea of the Vatican. Oh my God.
You see, you
That's how they've
can't
controlled us. Oh
you
my
can't
God.
have in the beginning was God. No,
She
that
gave
was
birth
his
to the
beginning.
gods.
That was
Girl.
his beginning.
Yes.
It wasn't whom we were actually, I believe. I don't even think she may even look like us, but her essences somehow has gotten into many of us. Does that make sense?
Well, think about it, Wayne. If she is the waters that birth the gods, so if it's from her womb, the gods were born. Yeah, then obviously when she said breathe the spirit back into Adam's nostrils, I bet you that's when we got our dose of that holy water spirit thing back into the atom, because it was, like I said, it couldn't even rise. So there's some kind of repair, and I think that's the repair. They talk about the redemption of Sophia. And the redemption of Sophia was somehow she tricked the god Yaldabaoth, Yahweh, whatever, the feathered serpent, whatever you want to call it. It got tricked into giving us back which we did not have. So there's a repairing going on here, and it's about this divine feminine. It's about this, and this is why they don't want people to know about this.
You know what, Amifly, what is, I can't even think of that. The water in the womb, what is it called?
Oh gosh, I don't know the water in the
Amphipathic,
amniotic. There you go.
amniotic. Yep, thank you.
I'm like amniotic. Okay.
Ambiotic is actually what outer space is.
Oh, seriously.
Think about it. Think
Serious. You know,
about
that
it.
makes sense.
Because
Yep.
Yaldabaoth, Yahweh, could only create this world. He cannot create the universe
Yep.
because her essence, the amplified, again, I can't say the word now.
Amniotic. Yes.
Amniotic fluid is actually outer space.
That makes sense because, like I said, everything is birthed through the feminine. It has to come through the
It
matrix
has to
of the
come
mother.
through that.
Yeah.
I'm going to stop here a second. I want to see what's going on in the chat room because we've only begun, folks. Like Karen
Yeah.
Carpenter said.
Yeah.
So
And so, okay, so if they've suppressed this information, which keeps us mentally out of balance, which has put us into a position of being easily controlled and programmed because we're not using the power of thought. We're not thinking for ourselves. And that's the downfall of
So
humanity.
can I ask you a real personal question as the feminine?
Uh-huh.
Why have you allowed the male to define the feminine? That's what struck me this morning in my
Oh,
meditation.
Wayne, I totally asked that question. And remember I told you I got free from the bondage of the serpent
Mm-hmm.
when I cut myself out of a snake? That was a part of that, was because I was looking at the divine feminine. Because when I was started reading the Nag Hammadi and it started talking about Sophia and Zoe, I was like, whoa, hold the phone. You know what I mean? And then I had a memory of when I was probably about 16 or 17 years old, and I was out at a desert party. And you know how I always had the connection to the Lord. And it
Mm-hmm.
appears to most people as a masculine, but to me, it was both. I could never explain, but it was man and woman. It was both. It had long hair. It was like it had the most love. Nothing has the kind of love like this thing. And it's like a mothering love. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
crazy love. So always had this male dominance thing going on with my program. But when I was at that desert party, I heard this female divine voice that said, it would be wise for you to leave now. And I was like, whoa, hold the phone. And then I was like, I be hearing shit, you know. And then I heard, it would be wise for you to leave now. And it was a little bit louder. And I was like, whoa. And then I was like, started looking around for the people I was with. And as soon as I saw the person I was with, I went to grab them to tell them we got to go. And literally a gunshot went off. And if I wouldn't have moved at that precise moment, it would have went right through my heart.
Wow.
Hit the girl I was talking to and hit her in the shoulder. It was
Wow.
just a superficial, but she got shot. Yeah, if I wouldn't have moved from that divine voice. So, you know, that was the first time I ever heard the divine presence in me. And boy, she was protective.
Well, you know what we have to do, because, as I was meditating and I'm talking, I do believe that this is a different energy that I have ever sensed. And the
Mm,
thing is that as I began to talk to, and I'll call it her, is
mhm,
that I said, I don't know what a true female is.
mhm.
I said, my culture, I said, you obviously know this, but I said, it allows me, because I don't know, I want to approach her with respect,
Yes,
with dignity, with honor.
yes.
And I'm having to be retaught, and this is what I've asked to be taught. What is it? What is the true feminine? Because everything that I read all through the metaphysical, the new age, the religions, the female is degraded. Even in Wicca, the female takes a secondary position. I've read their spells, I've read their culture, and so now here I'm asking, and I'm asking her, I said, teach me what a true female is.
You know,
Because I
okay.
don't I don't like what I see of the male, to be honest.
Well, that's what I mean, because we're missing so much of her in our world. She is the intuition. She is the compassion. She is the urge to create family, unity, extension, bonding, loyalty, love. She is the power of the healing of prayer. When she heals, when you get healings in the physical world from prayer, that's the mother. That's her gift. That's because she controls matter.
Well, I would take that further. Actually, she controls maternity.
All of it.
Did you
All
get
of
it?
it. Yes, that's what I'm telling you, Wayne. She's all of it. That's
The maternity for
the
9
true
months.
definition of God in this world would be her.
So let's take that further then, Trina.
Has to be.
We need to discover who she is. I mean, as I'm studying, and folks, so I've got at least 30 documents when we get finished with this, because I want us to have at least a knowledge of who has been the goddess. They struck her from the records. They struck her from our memory, from our consciousness collectively. But I think somehow in the banishment that they did when they vanquished her, that she left her essence. Obviously, she did. We wouldn't be having this conversation.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Shadow.
I want to know who she is because I want to make sure that, listen, I know something about, we may be mere mortals,
Mm-hmm.
but I do know this. We possess something that transcends death, and that is faith.
Mm-hmm.
It is faith that it's the only thing that makes a God alive.
Yeah, and
Now,
I think that's the divine spark. And I
very
really do think
interesting.
that divine spark is associated with the female. It's the spark
It
that
is.
ignites in the waters of the womb and it creates life. That's
Lilith said,
her. It's
yeah,
her. That's her element.
calling
Yes.
those things that be not as though they are. That's what she
Yes.
told me. She said, if people begin to have faith in me,
Yes.
she says, I'll be able to manifest.
That's what I mean. She
Yeah,
controls the physical
yeah,
world. She really
yeah,
does. So this is her world.
yeah.
She is of matter. She is the primary creator of matter.
She was
So
stolen from.
yes, it's been brought into a patriarchal, but she
Yes.
works equally with the father principle. When she doesn't is when things go wrong, and that's what happened here.
Well,
So
that's what's
we
happened,
have
I think,
to
with
understand
technology.
we've got to understand how to marry these two aspects of God, because it is two in one. We have to figure that out and do that in our own bodies, because then you activate the Holy Spirit, the Trinity. You have your superpowers. You have access to them. Higher levels of intuition, healing
We're,
powers.
we're going to
Just
have to come up with new words instead of like Holy Spirit and Trinity
that's
because,
what I'm telling you.
yeah,
Yeah, it's been
yeah,
so
yeah.
hijacked.
It's
Maybe
been
we can use
so,
holy
yeah,
waters. I don't know.
that's like Holy Seas,
Kind of. That's what I mean. That's like hijacked by the whole. Yeah,
See,
I'm like the
we've got to
words, but
find something that is above this because this is all male centric.
yes, that's why I keep hearing keep it simple, then you'll find the solutions. The
Yeah.
simpler you keep it. So yeah,
So
like I said, the words tangle us up. The devil's in the details, they always told me.
Julianne
Devil's in the
knows as
details
well.
because you get tangled up on words.
Julianne, we love
People
you, dear.
people understand words different,
They do.
it's
They
and
do.
I don't understand words like most people because I never went to church or nothing. I learned it all on my own. So it
Hmm.
was different. My vocabulary, that's why I like a lot of books, because it's like this is what I kind of was told. I believe this. This is a book you might enjoy, Wayne, about the divine Sophia and
I
the
have that book.
principles of the divine feminine and
Yeah.
how it is associated to the Jesus, the Isis, the Mary Magdalene, the prostitute.
Told you.
That's what I'm
Carry
telling
it
you.
forward all the
This
way
is
back to the
all,
temple.
yeah, and she talks about Hathor in here and the Egyptian goddess. I mean, this is part of what we are, and these powers. Like I said, a lot of this cow stuff. I wonder if this was part of how they got the genetics into the earthly realm.
Well, it's
Wow.
interesting because bovine is what the number one animal is that they test all vaccines on, except
Yeah.
this one.
Yeah.
Your flu vaccines, all your vaccines are primarily used by bovine. Why?
Yeah.
Because the bovine has a closest of DNA to us. It's very interesting.
Yeah.
Um,
And look at on the picture of the cow. It's the eye of Ra.
mhm.
Well, or that actually that would be the eye of Thoth, because it's right.
Let me show you what these look like. I mean, it's quite interesting when you see who she is. Um, where are you, Miss Hathor?
And
She's
it's
a,
so amazing too, because our female organs look like the face of the bull.
they do the fallopian tubes. Look at those.
Yeah, and the uterus, it makes
Yeah.
it makes
I
the symbol
mean,
of the
it's
bull. Yeah.
yeah, and when you look at it, what was in the when the children of Israel rebelled? What was it? It was the golden calf, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And they
I
would
mean,
sacrifice
yeah.
babies into
Yeah, I
that
mean,
golden calf.
it's some bizarro
That's
stuff
what I
is what
mean.
it is.
Total inversion of the divine feminine. They turned it
Bingo.
into sacrifice and murder instead of birth. It's like, this is the vessel you might have been born through. So now let's burn babies inside of its belly.
So there she is. And,
Yep.
Ishtar,
Hmm.
Isis, um, Aphrodite, there is the one right there. So the symbology of this is mankind is nurturing itself off of her essences. She has the headdress of wisdom with the golden scepter here. Yeah.
It's crazy.
Um, she is quite beautiful. I think, in fact, that's where we get a lot of the modern day ideas of Cleopatra, because Hathor she was quite beautiful. And as I continue to go back, let me show you another goddess it's so interesting. Her name is Anat. Let
Mhm.
me bring her up. She is here she is. Very interesting. This is earlier than Hathor. So I don't know how you would term this, but so this is a more modern day interpretation of her looks, of who she is. This is Anat, Anat. She is pictured throughout Mesopotamia, throughout the Canaanites, all the way back to even earlier, late Samaria. Here she is. She's a warrior.
Yeah.
Notice the headdress.
Yeah.
This is the earliest figurine. I mean, we're going back nearly 8,000 years ago.
Yeah. They say
So
that the actual oldest symbology of gods ever found on the earth, the very oldest ones, were representations of the divine feminine.
so I try to be a logical guy, a spirit that's going, okay, I don't have the answers here, but you know what? I'm just sharp enough to realize, wait a minute. If that wasn't a threat, then why did they take all the effort? And they did take effort to completely reverse the story.
Because I think that when you actually understand this power, that you actually are reconnected with your true power. I just know that this is true, Wayne. This is why they had to get rid of this, because if they didn't get rid of this, they wouldn't have been able to create big, you know, medicine making companies. They wouldn't have been able to implement 90% of what they're doing now, because if you have control and access to the divine feminine within you, that's where you get the physician heal thyself. This is where you bring miracles into this realm through the mother. It comes through mama.
I'm going to say this, and I'll probably go in much more depth on the Steiger perspective. This is the effort that's going on now that we see in the world is a sterilization
You got
effort.
it.
This is a direct assault of the masculine against the goddess.
I saw a post from the CDC saying that if people are going to take the jab, that they need to go ahead and look into some preservation of their eggs and sperm, because it might not be an option. So yeah,
It's what's happening.
I couldn't believe. Yeah, I just saw that it was said it was from the CDC. I was like, wow, that's amazing.
You see, we
Impressive.
know who Yahweh is. We know who the Christ that what I would say the story that's out there. Here's my problem, and I'm just going to lay this out. This is controversial. The free choice of what a woman has to do with her body.
Right.
The problem with that is that what you're actually engaging in is the ancient Israelite custom of Moloch
Hmm.
of giving the unborn fetuses to
Hmm.
Yaldabaoth,
Hmm.
Yahweh.
Yeah.
And America is really good at it. We do it by the
Like I
millions.
said, I don't think that it should be a form of contraceptive. Like I
I don't
said,
think
though,
so
but I do
either.
think if there's like forced incest, abuse, rape, things
There's
like that,
always
that should be a
that.
choice for a
Yeah.
female because
Yeah.
incest has problems. There's just these things have problems. So yeah.
But
And I think that
there's another controversy with incest. If you believe the Adam and Eve story, the only way we got here was through incest.
that's what I mean. And yes.
So now you want to reverse the story and tell me it's bad?
Yeah. I really think it might be.
I mean, I asked a rabbi that. He got up and left.
Yeah,
I
because he
asked
couldn't answer, but no, I think it might be, and I think that
I
might be
asked
what is
Kenneth
spoken
Hagin
of.
that question. I said,
Well,
wait a
think
minute.
about it. You were born into sin.
Incest.
Duh. Well, if it was out of an incestual relationship, that could be very possible.
Yeah. I've asked many of a preacher and holy men, what have you. They won't answer the question.
Well, and if they say, the first ones didn't have the blessing of the mother and the father, so they were a different creation than what was intended
See how
for
we
the
try to make
templates of man.
we try to get, because we don't want to accept the fact that, well, yeah, if you want to be real honest, brutally honest,
Hmm.
then Homo sapiens are nothing but an incestuous species.
Yeah. Well, but then now too, with all the potentially that we have multiple alien genetics in us, animal genetics because of the laboratory playing with genetics, it's like now I'm like, I don't think we're anything close to incest except for the ones that do the pure bloodline thing, because
I
I think
don't
we are the
know.
ultimate mutt, Swain.
Well, but you have to carry that back. Now, I had this discussion decades ago with a pretty wise scholar, and he finally had to admit to it. He says, "Well," he said, "obviously," he said, "if that is the case," he says, "then that was the breaking of the gene pool right there."
Yes. Yes.
And what we are today is why we see all the diseases, all the genetic malformities that were here before Big Pharma and all the rest of the stuff. It is what has been a curse to
Or
our
think about it, Wayne, or is it the correction? Because
well,
what if
I
it
don't
was the
know.
correction and that's why they're trying so hard to take away the sentences and dub us down and give us fluoride and do all this stuff, is because what if that mixture was the correction from an incestual? See what I mean? Everything's been backwards. So now I look at everything upside down and go, oh, smack.
Well, let me
Whoa.
tell you what I see in my vision. We're about to see there is an altar that's being prepared.
Mm-hmm.
And this is not being prepared by human hands, but it's being prepared to receive the essence of humans. It
Mm-hmm.
is nothing less than a blood sacrifice that is about to take place on a level that we have never witnessed. That's
Yep.
what I see.
I see a potential for that too. Did you
Yeah.
see the Space Needle
Yeah, I saw that with the
New Year
DNA.
thing?
What was that
Whoa.
about? Marsha Price sent me
Holy
that picture. Thank you,
macaroni.
Marsha. Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. The transformation of genetics right in front of you.
It's right there.
Unbelievable.
And the altar has been prepared, but I'm telling you, it's not been prepared by human hands, but it has been ready to receive the essence. This is, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's cuckoo loco. Some
So,
amazing hologram technology. Wow, though.
yeah, wasn't that?
Impressive.
Yeah, I was, like going, well, that's just, where did they get that
That's some
from?
pretty high level good stuff
Yeah,
right
it's like,
there. I was like, wow,
yeah,
that
yeah.
was pretty neat.
I'm just reading some of the comments and I think we got a lot of people going today. This was a really good, deep discussion, and it's one we're going to have to continue because she's here. She's wanting to be here, and
Yes, and can you imagine how frustrating it would be as a mother to want to help her children and they can't hear her because they
yeah,
can't hear her thought.
they don't know her
They can't hear her thought, which is the
exactly.
inner voice. Like you said, Wayne, it's an inner thing. It's a inner. That's the mother. She speaks
You
from
know,
within.
here's a thought, ladies and gentlemen. The internet works on codes, and viruses can be inserted, thought viruses. One of the ways that we can begin to do this is putting the thought virus into the Ethernet that we're seeking the goddess. I don't know her name, but I know that she does in fact exist. The reason my argument is that you can't tell me that God exists without the goddess.
Look at this, Wayne. Isn't this interesting?
Yes, look at that. Let me put that in the full view for folks. See? You see
Yeah,
that,
and it says,
yeah.
the virgin of the world is she who brings the universe into being by herself. I am the womb that gives shape to the all. I am the glory of the mother. And see how they use the pear as a symbol? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I am she who exists before the all. I move every creature. I am the invisible one within the all. I am both mother and father since I procreate myself.
Mm. We're
Yeah.
on to something. I don't believe that this is coincidence. People have picked up on this. I'm not the only one. This is, that's why I know that it is more than just an idea. It's a thought.
Like I said, it brings you into the wholeness. And when you get into wholeness, you activate, which would be considered the element of higher mind, inner eye, which is air, because that's in the head. This is how you truly become enlightened, is
Mm.
when you come into this awareness of this dual power of creation within you that needs to become one mind, unified as the power of an enlightened mind. And that only happens when you get both of these combined. That's like you when you started meditating and seeking Wayne and going inside, your whole world changed.
Oh,
You are so powerful, and you tapped into the masculine part of creation in this little game we're playing here, but you were suppressed from the feminine. But now that you're going into that, oh God, help us all. My God,
oh,
you're
I
going to
gotta
be so
say,
powerful because that's your missing link. It's all of our missing links.
yes.
We have all not known about this powerful part of our world, which is our divine mother.
So I just heard the thought in my head. I am the Kraken. Release the Kraken.
Yes, the power of the spine. And it'll cause a
Oh,
hurricane. A
uh,
hurricane, it will. That's
so
funny too. You know what I just heard,
what
Wayne?
was that?
A storm is coming.
Ah,
Ah,
yes, 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 yes.
ooh, interesting.
I think it was inevitable. I mean, we truly are in a new age, and I believe that.
Yeah.
Hear me out on this. This is just a thought. I believe that the divine goddess, the supreme goddess, she
Hmm.
knew this.
Hmm.
And as the cosmic wheel turned slowly, what was the power of the Aldebaoth, what we call Yahweh, the masculine, the Abrahamic uh, thought virus, it existed in a strength because it was at a position. And now that position has turned, allowing the
Yes.
supreme goddess to return back because this is her domain.
That's what, yes, absolutely. Yes, I think so.
Mm, mm,
Yep.
mm. I
Because
love
think
this.
about it, error is in the mind. My
Yeah,
children could not hear my thought.
that's what I heard.
Now they'll be able to hear her thought if they so choose to.
That's what she told me.
I believe it. This is going to be her element.
I'm quarantined in the house. Lynn's upstairs and I'm downstairs.
Uh-huh.
So it's been a real interesting experience because I am literally by myself. And the energy has been like, whoa. My
Yeah.
dog won't even sleep next to me. She just and she's been seeing it. I've been watching her and there's something here and it's just outside my phase shift of seeing, but she sees it. So anyway,
Yeah.
we go.
Absolutely.
Hmm.
Like I said, Wayne, I think this is some of the most powerful hidden wisdom of all times, because
I'd love to hear you ladies talk about this over on your channel. I know in the Drama of
I
Seven.
did a whole series on the Divine Sophia
Okay.
on my channel a
Yeah.
while back. That was one of the first ones that I did, because
Hey,
this
David
was
Barry. We love you,
part
brother.
of, part of my awakening too, Wayne. I do. We come into this knowledge when we're supposed to. And
Yeah.
this was a huge part of my awakening, was reconnecting to the power of the mother.
And my quest, and if you want to call it a prayer, um, again, I'm speaking from a male. I want to be
Hmm.
taught what is the true divine feminine. I need to understand that and grasp it above the indoctrination that I've been saturated with. And that's what I'm seeking. Maybe you women can help
It's,
maybe give our guys some points on that.
the way that they've explained it to me is she is reason, and the masculine part is logic.
Yeah, that's
So
fine, but help us overcome the sexualization of the feminine. I get the metaphysical and the
God,
thought part.
yeah, that's going to
You
be
girls, you
tough,
ladies
Wayne.
need, well, come on. Y'all have
Yeah.
got to address this. You've got to help the males overcome this brainwashing, because I'll guarantee, and I'm going to be honest, virtually 100% of males see women as with tits and with something else, and they can't get over the sexualization above the thought. And
Man,
you
that's so
women who
sad that,
are awake and enlightened should be guiding the rest of the males into understanding what is it to be the feminine. Sorry, I'll get
like
off
I said,
my
Wayne, I
my
think every
soapbox.
time that it's come into power on this planet, I think it's literally been destroyed brutally,
Well,
even
this is some
down
of
to the
the real
witchcraft,
problems. I get it, but maybe you
Yeah.
ladies will talk amongst yourself. You're the only ones that can do it.
I think we're
Anything.
doing it, and it's the first time it really isn't being suppressed. Look at all the people reading tarot cards on the internet, doing their
Yeah.
medicine, teaching how to grow things, herbs, giving natural instructions on childbirth, like talking about the trauma to do it the way in the normal situations. I think this is the birth of that feminine energy you're seeing come back, but it's just starting. It's just starting.
And I'm being serious, ladies and gentlemen. We've got to begin to transcend these things. What we're doing,
Yes.
we're masters of putting things into the closet. Because I can reach my spirituality through meditation. I don't have to deal what's in the closet.
Yes.
And you die and you go over on the other side and they open up the freaking closet.
Because, yeah, you go into the darkness, into all of it, potential. Yeah, yeah. That's just said, you got to clean that stuff up, heal it.
We have to be adults about this, and it's a weakness within us. That's
It's
all
the
I'm saying,
greatest
folks.
power, I think, in us, Wayne. I think she's the part that does all your chemicals in your body. She's the part that controls the lymphatic and the endocrine system in the body. She controls reproduction in the body. She controls, I'm pretty sure, digestion in the body. It's all of these parasympathetic processes that we are unaware of. I think that's her dominion, her domain.
Yeah. Well, I think that this is how we get to know her. And I'm
Yeah,
just being very honest. I've never known a goddess.
yeah,
All my teaching has been on the male ego.
absolutely.
I know what Yahweh's all about. I know what the Elohim, I know what Jehovah, I know what Jesus, I know what the New Testament is all about. And any way you slice it and dice it, it's anti-female.
Yes. And you know what's so funny? Because in this existence of polarity, there absolutely has got to be the feminine. There is no way it could not exist in this polarity system.
Yeah, I'm just being honest. I don't know how to approach a goddess. I don't.
With
And
respect and
well, I
and
know I
honor, it's
get
like
that. Yeah.
creator. Like,
I,
it's the creator, Wayne. I really do think that the God thing has been turned male, but when we need to look at matter, she's the maker of the matter. So it's like everything's been reversed. So kind of our, you know, how they would always worship the female for the harvest and for the fertility. So that's a little bit of it in there. But that's because literally she's the bringer of all life. And we've completely X'd that from her. We've X'd that completely. Any acknowledgement that she is the creator of this world. There's no acknowledgement for that. None.
I hear you. It's still, I guess I'm not communicating it right. You see,
No, I think that
I
it's
believe
such a
it's
deep question, Wayne. That's a
yeah,
deep
yeah,
question. That's so deep. I know, but how do you find words for the fullness of that question? That's difficult.
yeah. You know, I'm not, I'm not seeking a personification, but I know
Uh-huh.
that the essence of the goddess, the
Mhm.
supreme goddess, she is the creator. And you know, that's an epiphany for me to, when that suddenly explodes, that Rhema explodes upon your consciousness. Um, I think that she is consciousness.
You know what I just heard, Wayne?
What's that, hon?
Look into the mitochondria.
Yeah, yeah.
I literally just heard that. So maybe that's part of your
Let's
puzzle.
take a look at that. Yeah,
I literally just heard it. Look at
yeah,
the mitochondria.
yeah. This has
Yes.
been a great conversation. Uh,
That's deep
we'll pick up.
conversation.
We're going to pick up on it because I think
Yeah.
that we're actually beginning to hit at the core of the issue here. Um, you know, for over 60 years of my life, I was so heavily, um, now let me just be, because even as a child, so I can say with all honesty, well over 50 years, that's a half a century of where I had the spiritual devotion to the male deity.
Me too.
You see?
Yeah.
And
That was in my, how it even got there, Wayne, I don't even know. It was there since I could remember. But
yeah,
like I said, that energy was definitely a little masculine and feminine. So maybe that was what helped me make that leap to the divine feminine awareness a little bit sooner, because that was always like, is that where you were hiding? You know, that was kind of like my thoughts.
yeah.
Ooh, is that where you were
So
hiding? You know,
where
so
was that?
yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
right, right. Yeah. So like I said, yeah, me too, though. Like I said, the images in my head were always masculine. Even when I saw the God thing behind me, when I was with the Lord, it was masculine.
Yeah. That's and
I
I'm
was a
sitting in
little
my
kid.
heart.
Yeah, it's programmed into us now. So we've got to unprogram that somehow. Get
That's
into
my
this.
search. I, you know, and
Yeah.
as I told her this morning, I said, I don't know how to approach you. I said, you know, I don't know what a goddess is because everything, my perception of a goddess has been male dominant.
Yeah.
And I really truly feel like I'm a stranger in a strange land. I arrived there just a couple of days ago, and I'm still trying to make sense of it. Does that make? I know that
Yeah.
doesn't make sense, but anyway,
No, it totally makes sense, Wayne. It totally makes sense.
you
It
know,
really does. Don't,
yeah.
yeah. Never doubt your doubt, and you'll never doubt your doubt again. Yes.
See, that's exactly it.
That's right,
I know
Wayne.
the
Never
guy who said
doubt
that.
your doubt again. That's right. Don't doubt your doubts. Yes.
I love you, Trina. So, what
Yeah.
do you got going this week?
Oh, just like you, just trying to ride this ride and trying to help guide and drive the energy on this
Mm-hmm.
planet into a peaceful, awakened, enlightened place instead of a reactive, confrontational, and my way is better than your way place to be. Because this is how we're going to win or lose, is if we can figure out how to actually act like adults and stop defending things that no longer work for us. We have to
Woo,
find a new way.
powerful. So I'm not going to shout you down because you're preaching good. Hey, Kaz.
Hi, Cass.
So now,
I'll see you after.
she is a beautiful composer and
Yes,
taught
she
me about
is.
the dragons. You know.
That's
So,
right. Gotta
hey,
love the drug.
Jenny.
You know, it's so funny. I heard a story the other day of a guy who was in a past life regression session, hypnosis, and he said that he was a dragon and he fractaled down into Earth and took on 40 different avatars simultaneously, all between ages 26 and 40 on the planet currently at this time now. I was like,
Far
wow.
out. I mean,
Yeah, right. That's
seriously,
kind of
far
cool.
out.
40 fractals of one dragon expressed in male and female bodies from ages 26 to 40 and 40 of them. I was like, ooh.
You know, I kind of dig that idea.
Let's do your 40
You know,
days and your
you don't
40
have to do the
night
whole
struggle,
childhood
Wayne.
thing. You know, adolescence, you don't have to go through that awkwardness. Yeah, that's actually the ideal time.
Right. Like
Yeah,
I said, that could be the 40 days and 40 nights of suffering,
I don't
the
know.
40. Oh boy. I was like,
Woo.
that is a powerful number, 40. Yeah.
So
And he said
Cass has,
40 fractals.
that's interesting. Cass has a new video.
Right.
All right, check that out. And a lot of people are just in
Yes,
there.
I
So are
saw
you going to
that.
be on the Adronymous 7 on Friday night? Is that the night?
Yep, Friday night. I think so. Sometimes it's getting a little challenging with multiple people. So we're trying to maybe streamline a little bit with that because it keeps things a little cleaner. So yeah, and then Robert will be on Saturday, and then I've been doing a little bit of stuff on quantum healing on my
Excellent.
channel, and I'm going to continue to do a little bit more of that because that's my passion.
You ought to look into shadow particles. I'm going to be doing a show on that. They are particles that
Ooh,
can't be seen in light.
see, Wayne, I think that's the mother, the darkness, the unseen, the womb, that dark cells, the dark matter. I think that's her primary element. Yeah.
Raised by
Yeah.
Giants. I'll have speaking of which, I'll have Connor on tomorrow. So we'll see what we'll be talking about. Not sure, but we'll definitely we'll get to know Connor, who's in our community. And so yeah. All right,
Right
Miss
on.
Trina. Much love to you. Thank you for everyone listening.
Much love to you.
Thank you.
Love
I'm
you,
gonna
Soul
go.
Tribe.
Love y'all. Y'all are the best. And
Yeah.
I'll see y'all tomorrow. I'm gonna go take care of my wife. And
Fabulous conversation, Wayne.
it
Brain
was
stimulating to the ultimate. I mean, a lot of people have never even thought about this, and we need to start looking at everything.
we do. And I and sometimes folks, we just got to address it for what it is. Let's be honest. And I think that is the
Yeah.
way we get along. All
All
right,
of us are
everyone.
here because we were born through our mother.
Yes, absolutely.
Bottom line.
So many beautiful people. All right, everyone. We love y'all. See you next Friday, next Tuesday.